very good afternoon to all the viewers of Elkem TV. This is our show, The Platform, that runs every Friday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. We use this show to talk about matters of national importance and how we can help our country improve for the better. Now, in the studios of Elkem TV this afternoon, we are privileged to host two great honorables. And before we go further and I introduce the topic of discussion, I would like to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves to you, the viewers. Ladies first.
Okay. Thank you so much. And thanks to Elkem Media. I am Evelyn, the District Female Youth Councillor, Masindi. I'm glad to be here again in this studio. I thank for this opportunity and I condole with all those who have lost their loved ones. And for those who have parties this weekend, congratulations, we wish you well. And for Muslims who have been in the mosque, Happy Jummah. So I urge you to keep tuned in so that we can discuss and see how we can build our nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Evelyn. Crossing straight to Honorable.
Honorable Bishop Joshua Manyire Kiza, Emeritus Mayor. I wish all our viewers this afternoon a very nice and happy day as you listen to our different views about how we can improve the economy of our country. I thank you all, and those who are watching us, those who are listening, and those who are interested and supporters of Elkem FM. I wish you well, and one thing I urge you is take Jesus Christ as your personal Savior. I cannot fail to say that because that is my role. God bless you.
Thank you, Honorable. Now, our viewers today, our major topic of discussion is we are going to consider the motion for the President returning back the appropriation bill, that is the financial bill of the year 2024-2025, back to the Parliament for reconsideration. It is given to him with a mandate in accordance with the Article 93B of the National Constitution under Rule 4 of the Rules of Procedure, whereby the President has a mandate or the authority of returning back the bill or the financial budget for review again back to Parliament. So we shall talk about that. Was it because of corruption? Was it misappropriation? Was it miscalculations or what? So we shall get to know. Then later we shall talk about the restrictions being put on our next coming in president, or the youth president, that is Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, and why he's being blocked here and there. Some hours back, he has just been having a press conference in Ntungamo, whereby his rally has been stopped by police from proceeding on. So we shall later look at that also. I want to start straight with Honorable Evelyn, the lady on the show. Why did the President have to send back this bill or the financial budget back to Parliament for review? Was it due to misallocations? Was it due to corruption scandals, as our Parliament is not safe? So our viewers outside there would like to know, why was this done and how was it helping the country, Uganda?
Thank you so much, Mr. White. I'll go straight to the question. And seeing the situation which is in the country currently, as you're seeing, so many people have messed up, like in the previous years. You're seeing so many people have been affected. I think this time the president is promised to do what? To bite. And the root cause, I think it has been right from the planning, right from the way those bills are always brought up and calculated. It means if we are to fight corruption, we have to be keen right from the start, where we are doing the write-up and so on, the articulation and so on. So if we see the president at the moment and at the beginning of the financial year taking back the financial bill, then I see like we are now going on the right track. It means if there were mistakes which were put there, if there were some corners where some people had planned to steal some money there, it means now we are going to correct them all, which has not been done in the previous years. And whatever law, whatever bill which is always brought, and finally when the president signs, it means he owns it. So even if it's the financial bill, it's the president is when he finally signs, it means it's his. Meaning that he has to be this time so careful. We don't want again to see people being arrested and put here and there. We need to be careful and see what's there, which he has not been doing. They were just bringing things on table. He reads it through. Maybe he doesn't even get enough time. Then he signs. But now this time we are seeing him very careful, more especially on finance, and bringing it back. It means now we has to scrutinize very well and give it time. Maybe he has seen there something which we need to correct, and Parliament has to correct it. But for me, I see it right and just for the president. There is no harm. It's okay for him to bring it back to Parliament and scrutinize very well, so that we don't get the scandals which have been happening and people being arrested. Let us prevent it. Let us prevent the disease than just looking for the drug to cure the disease. Because really looking for the drug to cure corruption it's quite hard. But when we immunize it very well, like when we are bringing back the bill to Parliament, then I see like we are on the right track.
Madam Honorable, a little bit there. Are you saying that the president returning this financial bill or the budget back to Parliament, was it due to corruption? Or it was something else, like misappropriation of funds? And
of course, for him, he has not clearly given out reasons as to why it was taken back. But all what I know, it's for scrutiny, so to scrutinize more and more to see where the gaps are, to see what can we do here and there, like that. But for him, he has not come out to correctly or clearly to tell the country, like in his address or what, like why he has taken the bill. So I can't guess. But for me, all what I know, it's for scrutiny, to scrutinize it very well, so that we don't regret in future when we see things going astray.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Crossing to Honorable Emeritus Mayor Bishop Joshua Manyire Omuiruntu. Honorable.
Yes, please.
The president sending back the financial bill or the budget back to Parliament for the review, what does it have on your side?
Well, as you said, it is his obligation. Because before he appends his signature, he must be sure that what he's approving is the right document. Now, when he perused through the bill, I think there was inappropriate allocation. The funds were not allocated evenly. Some key ministries and organs of the government were suffocated, and others had their budgets ballooned unnecessarily. And suffocating key organs and departments of the country, of the government, it means a lot. It means service delivery is going to be poor. Government's performance is going to be rated low
Mm.
because the key organs have been suffocated during the allocation of funds.
Funds.
Then, of course, he must have cited some corruption by some ministries and members of parliament to allocate them money for wasteful expenditure.
Mm.
There are people who get a lot of ministries which were given a lot of money.
An example?
Well, there are some which were given money because they have a lot to do, like defense and others. But there are some ministries which get a lot of money and the others get lower than that. Like now when you look at the Ministry of the Youth, getting 9 billion.
Is it enough or it's inadequate?
Balam's ministry, that is Balam's ministry, Honorable Balam,
Yeah. Our own.
9 billion.
Mm.
9 billion. The youth who constitute 78% of this economy. Now, the rest is 22%. Although there is a claim that most youths were they were captured, their interests were captured elsewhere, like in education, because when you look at education, primarily it is the youth, right from nursery up to university. Save those who are going for a mature entrance and those who are doing their PhD, but the rest, most of them are youth. Those who are joining forces in defense and internal affairs are youth. But even then, the concerns of the of the youth in informal and the non-formal sector are so much enormous that the 9 billion is not enough for them.
Honorable, what does the president do by taking it back? Have an impact?
Of course, what he wanted was even distribution, reallocation, adjustment. In fact, it is budget adjustment to adjust the budget. Because if you are preparing kawunga, kalo, where you have cassava powder, flour, and millet, if you don't mix it well, it will not give you the best paste. Yeah. But you have to mix it. If you want to have an economy balancing, all sectors must have their needs served equally. Now, when you look at the youth, do you know that most of the problems we are encountering are caused by the youth and can be solved by catering for the youth interests?
Or they can be solved by the youth themselves?
No, by catering for their interests. Because we have blamed the youth so many times for doing dubious activities, not knowing that these are pressurized by the natural needs.
What are some of the
If
needs?
they are provided, some of these, by the time President Museveni came to power, this country was in a terrible mess. You would go to Kampala with your money and don't come back with it before even buying anything. Pickpocketing was so high. Robbery and everything. There was a lot of prostitution everywhere. But now some of these young girls have gone into some economic activities. Some of the youth are doing other economic activities. Some are washing bay, others in salons.
However, the unemployment rate is still there.
Is still there. Now, when you continue to suffocate them, you are pressing them towards the wall. And the repercussions will be great. So I think then when you look at the road sector, you look at the industry, all those sectors need a lot of money. Police was given 900 billion. You can see now they are improving on their remunerations.
We have just seen even their salaries being
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Why? Because they now have some money. They can do something.
So should we expect better services from police because they have increased their salaries?
Yeah, we expect better services. Of course, services have been there, but we expect less corruption.
Mm.
Because,
So-
you know, some policemen, of course, they have been earning peanuts.
Mm.
And yet they are supposed to do a donkey work. Imagine somebody waking up at night to chase a thief who has not stolen his car but your car.
Mm.
You can imagine. Somebody guarding a bank and he has no account in that bank.
Mm.
But he jealously keeps around to make sure nobody breaks into the bank. Yet he has no account in that bank. You can imagine.
Mm.
What that commitment, that you know. So some people must have their remuneration is improved.
Mm.
Yes. And they,
Mr. Honorable,
Mm.
in about 2 minutes,
Mm.
explain to us how Uganda has benefited from this, the president returning back the bill for.
of course,
How have Ugandans?
this
benefited?
is an indication. Number one,
Mm.
it is an indication that the president is fighting corruption in the parliament.
Okay.
The breeding ground,
Mm.
the nursery bed, or the breeding ground of corruption is within parliament.
Mm.
Let me tell you, parliament, the members of parliament were given 200 million to go and buy their cars. But the cars they bought are not worth 200 million, not even 80.
They are over or they are below?
Below. Some of them even did not buy because, like those who are serving their third or second term, they are still using those vehicles they had.
True.
But can they account for the 200 million?
But if it's a token,
No, it's not a token. Eh?
It's,
It's not a token.
it's part
They are
of
not
the
thanking them.
constitution.
They were given to facilitate them.
Yeah.
If you are given an allowance, Evelyn is given an allowance to go to Kampala, spend 4 days.
Honorable Evelyn,
Spend 4 days. And she goes there and spends only 1 day and comes back.
A little
She's
bit.
supposed to account for the rest of the money for the 3 days.
a little bit, Honorable Amanyiri.
Yes.
Honorable Evelyn, if money worth 200 million is deposited on your account, and the major reason they are saying buy a car as a member of parliament, don't you think a member of parliament has the choice of buying whatever kind of car that he wishes with the 200 million?
To me,
Mm.
the onus is on the member of parliament because this money doesn't come with the strings attached
Mm.
that you have to buy a car. And I understand they don't even make accountability
There is
out of it.
Some point of information.
Mm.
There is a member of parliament in the
Mm.
northern.
Mm.
For him, he used the 200 million
Mm.
to pay the loans
Mhm.
that he
acquired
the
in
campaigns.
campaign.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that money is his.
That's why you saw like our current MPs, they all in Masindi here, they mostly all bought ambulances out of that money because all of them they already had what? They already had cars.
Mm.
Now for me what I know, there is nothing like any calculation or what someone has to take back to parliament that I bought a car. Maybe they should redesign, like when you give you 200 million, you have to give accountability. But what I know, the onus is on the MP, either to buy a car, because they always assume that now you are the new MP, you have to be oriented, what they do everything, and you have to have a car to move from your constituency to what? To parliament. But I think the designer of this thing didn't think that some of the MPs maybe will be coming for the second term and the 200 vehicle which you bought the other time will still be in a good condition. I think they just have to revise that and see how they can do it fairly.
Okay, thank you,
you.
Honorable Evelyn. Back to you,
I
Honorable
want to refute that because any public fund, because the 200 million is not coming from the president's hand or the speaker. This is public.
money.
Any public money must be accounted. Even to the lowest ground here, when a councillor gets an allowance, if you are going for a tour and they give Evelyn, you are going to spend there 4 nights. Evelyn spend there in a day and night and runs back
To Masindi.
to Masindi. By law, you are supposed to refund the other 3 days.
Remaining tokens.
Yet that money was yours, you are entitled. But because you did not fulfill the obligation,
So-
any public fund must be accounted.
So should we say it is the Ugandan law that is weak?
No, it is not at all. It's because that corruption was not seen. That is corruption. Because if the money, when the money was passed in the parliament, it was passed as 200 million for
vehicles
for members of parliament. Not for buying ambulances, not for paying loans, not for building houses.
So you mean our Joe Abusolomi did bad to use that money to buy an ambulance?
I'm not talking about Joe Abusolomi. I'm talking all members of parliament for misappropriation of that money. That is corruption under the hands of the speaker. That's why I'm saying, members of parliament, the speaker's power and benefits also must be reduced and revised. True. Because when you see what the speaker is doing, because she cannot ask them for accountability, she's the greatest victim. She cannot ask for accountability. She's the greatest victim. Now, the members of parliament themselves are talking about corruption. That is a form of corruption. I've given you one example. 2, they have been receiving monies on their phones and accounts. None of them make noise.
Money is money. And
they don't sign for it. Because any man on phone, you don't sign. They just receive it.
Maybe they pass some
and yet
sheets in the parliament.
And yet that is public fund. If the money is made, if I gave you 100 million to go and buy me a vehicle, you buy a vehicle of 40 million. I will even if you bring a vehicle very new, I will still demand you for a receipt.
Okay, Honorable Joshua.
Yes.
What can be done to stop this?
Now, one, I feel the members of parliament must be reduced to a third, because now we are having a lot of incompetent
509 currently.
Yes, but must be reduced to a third. At least a third of 570, that is I think 190.
Don't you think other constituencies will be left out?
How? We have how many districts now?
136.
Yes, we can have a male councillor, a male member of parliament, and a female member of parliament.
2.
Yes.
Per district.
Yes. What are these others doing there? Because now if 500, if you gave each one a day to talk in parliament, it will mean those are 2 years, because we have 366 days. 365 days.
So it will take 2
years for each one of them to talk.
True.
But what are they doing?
Maybe
that's why they are being accused of not talking in the parliament. They are not talking because they don't know how to talk, because we don't have damn MPs. But because they have no opportunity.
They are not talking because there are many.
There are so many. It is, in fact, it is a den of people who have nothing to do.
So that is a very nice one.
Because what are they doing? If Evelyn goes for Masindi, as a female MP, I go for as a male MP, are we not enough? Don't we know the needs of Masindi?
Okay.
Are these people now? It's like these councillors now. You get a councillor for PWD. Doesn't even know that the PWD need ABCD.
Honorable Joshua.
We have a lot of people occupying offices which are not relevant. I'm giving an example. But now we are having a lot of people, redundant people, who are consuming the funds of this economy, which are not productive.
Okay.
Then, as they say, the power of the speaker must also be trimmed. Because the speaker...
Honorable, we shall start with that when we come back from this commercial break. Our dear viewers of Elkem TV, we are going for a small commercial break. Stay tuned.
Madina Education Center isomero muno mugenya karoraho kale takkiriza muno ow'enkwonki onu noagenda kutandikira kusoma
Arayonka
ni nkugenda n'okuzaalayo abandi basatu nabo basomera hano mu Madina Education Center.
Madina Education Center ng'otuuseeyo olabira ddala Madina eyo Middle East naye essomero liri wano Nyakibe Masindi Kafu Road.
Madina Education Center isomero ndigondeze byabojo n'abaisiki then boarding primary school section hamu na daycare section batera ekisika abaana barahumuraga harume byokusanisa nka toys enungi muno.
Ate primary section nayo ya mulembe nnyo abasomesa batendeke bulungi classes metron wali dormitories nungi zirimu n'emifaliso. Actually emifaliso bitabo kalamu wamu ne peni byonna obisangayo ku ssomero bya bwereere. Balina ne school van y'okutambuza abaana.
Madina Education Center liri ha musinga gw'obusiramu bayitibwa kusorora dini n'abakristaayo bakutangirwa. School fees nizisoboka okwehandikisa ku kugenda omaiso aisomero eri kusangibwa Nyakibe Temairo 3 okuruga Masindi Town Masindi Kafu Road bateirona special class yokukwata ku ruhande omutwe kumanya ebikusinga otera hasimu 0-8-3-2 rundi 0-3-2-9-4-3-6
Welcome back, our viewers of Elkem TV, and in this next segment of our show, we want to continue with this topic of discussion, whereby later on we shall divert to Chagulanyi. Honorable Evelyn, crossing back to you. Where the implications by the president returning this financial bill or the budget back to parliament attached to misallocation of funds or corruption? Because we are seeing like I watched that parliamentary session whereby they read out all the allocations, and we got to know that there were extra 300 billions attached to renovation of primary schools and secondary schools plus some health centers. Give us your stand on that.
Of course, I will start from the extra. When you see the word extra, of course from the start I told you for corruption we need to immunize, not to treat it. And now what we are doing now, I think we are immunizing. So I have a feeling that the president saw that through his office and the technical people, and that's why he did what? He returned it back to parliament. And when you see the extra, then it means it's corruption. Someone is keeping inside there something which will do what? He will eat in future. He's keeping it in black and white to see that in future I will do this and this. Meaning there were going to be some ghost schools and what so on, which were going to be constructed, and people money was going to be swindled or eaten. So to me, what I see, partially it was on corruption. And another thing, it might have been misappropriation of funds and so on. But partially it was on corruption. And since now the president is on the highest peak of fighting corruption, and I think it was one of them. Though for him, he has not come out openly to tell the public why he did that. But corruption is one of it. And I'm very happy that now at least we are immunizing it now, not treating it. Because it was right from the grassroots, from parliament. It's what it's starting from. Just like how Joshua has said it all. And for me, what I say, it was corruption and misappropriation of funds or misallocation of funds, which was that. But the biggest part of it, it was corruption. That's why those technical people always hide that thing. And that thing is going up to the districts, the local governments. Technical people are hiding money in fuel and so on, and you find money being what? Mishandled. So when we copy what the president did, I can even see the LCFI maybe saying, let us scrutinize our budget like this, and we see what we did wrong or what we can correct, and see that our nation moves on well.
Okay, finally, Madam Honorable, should the viewers of Elkem TV outside there and Ugandans at large have some hope in the fight of corruption? Because our parliament is doomed and we have no hope in the parliament unless for the better in the 2026 general elections, whereby Ugandans will decide who is going back and who is not coming back. So should Ugandans have hope, as the president has started this mandate?
Of course, we should have hope, me inclusive. When we see people being arrested, when we see people being put in prison, it means they are serving as an example. And someone who was planning to steal some money or swindle some money, I know he will pull a little bit. And you can see even the extra money which was put, it was detected. So for me, what I see, it may not be 100%, but at least now we are like one step ahead. Like we see corruption now. If we have started now pulling it from the roots. I can see now when the president returns the budget in parliament to see that it is the financial bill, to see that it is scrutinized like that. Then for me, what I see, there is hope that corruption will end in Uganda.
Thank you, Honorable Evelyn. Crossing back to Honorable Joshua, you are still giving us what the parliament can do or what should be done to control the extravagance in parliament.
Of course, like I was also going to talk about this constituency fund, which they give them. They don't account. Somebody comes from Kampala and
it's almost how much?
It's a lot of money. They are given a fee now. You understand they raised it to 170 million. Then the constituency fund and the other. But I was of the opinion that if these people come to the constituencies, the voters they meet, they should have forms from parliament. Any member of parliament, if you come to Kibyama, let the voters of Kibyama sign the date, the topic discussed, and the resolution, because you are a representative, and then you present it to the clerk of parliament, so that they know that this member of parliament, during his tour of his constituency, he went to Kibyama, this one went to Kiatiri, the other one went to Kinyara. Yes, so that they know that you used the constituency fund appropriately. But if we just give out money without any control, then we are promoting wasteful expenditure. You get me? Somebody gets constituency fund and uses it for making parties. Building a house, storage the houses, and you're not bad to build a house, but build it on your
salary.
Yes, but not on the constituency fund. Some of these people have not even consulted their people. There are a lot of things going up in the country. The only thing we hear them from radios and such a kind of fora like this one, Elkem. But members of parliament don't come to explain. Even when they come to FM station, they are invited on free of charge. They don't pay. They are only invited that member of parliament will have this topic, come and we discuss. You are part of the panel. They don't pay. Even here, you charge them. No. Even when you invite them for free, they don't come. And even when they come, they don't contribute because they have that constituency fund. Because here you are helping them to meet the biggest part of their constituency,
which is digital.
So you see, that kind of parliament should make reforms. There must be reforms such that these members of parliament must have a discipline to follow. Now,
another solution
is, now you look at the ministry, the permanent secretaries. Are they given money to buy their vehicles and the ministers? No. It is government which buys vehicles for ministers and permanent secretaries,
and
for the cow, for the chairman, for the commissioners. Now, likewise, government should be the one to purchase vehicles for members of parliament.
True.
So that they don't, they have given them a lot of liberty to decide on whatever they want, and that's why they are choking. The greatest people who are choking, the majority of them choking the economy of this country are members of parliament.
Now, Honorable.
Yes.
Someone asks now an example of a question like, if someone has been in parliament for over 2 terms, is he equivalent to also get a new car as he's coming back for the next term?
Now we have in government, we have what we call returns. You cannot get much more money unless you show how you use the other one. So because these cars are not a gift, they are there to facilitate their service. If you are coming for the second term, can you bring the other one back? 100 million, 500 million, for what? You don't know.
Honorable Joshua.
Yes.
We have seen scenarios in Parliament whereby lists are being passed and people sign with the aim of getting kickbacks. They just sign for whatever they don't know. Just they need your signature as a member of Parliament, and in return you are to receive a
Mr.
kickback.
Kato, I have said many times, even when I'm here, that Parliament has become a den of thieves. People who don't mind about the fate of the country, who don't mind about the economy, they mind about their own. And that's why when they come for campaigns, they dish out a lot of money, and when misfortune comes in, when a member of Parliament loses, those who have been there, when they lose here, I'm telling you, they go back to zero.
Unfortunately, there is no one to blame because all members of Parliament are involved.
They are involved, including the Speaker.
Whether the NRM, the Speaker.
So what the President did was to show the country that Parliament has a problem. In fact,
by returning the...
Yes, he deliberately did it to show that Parliament has a problem. When members of Parliament who stole Mabat were arrested, even these ones recently who were found with a lot of, who are involved in kickbacks, were arrested. The Speaker came out to defend them. Publicly. And she even said that when they steal and they take it to their constituencies, it benefits the people.
Do you think...
As if now every one of us should steal, even the law of Uganda should change, that when a thief steals 10 cows and takes them to his own area and he hires about 2 herdsmen, then he's not doing bad because he's providing an employment. The cows are going to give out milk for the villagers to drink. He will slaughter one and the people will eat at the wedding, at the function. So he's not a thief. Is that what we should take up? I think the Speaker of Parliament and the members of Parliament, President disapproved them that they are in the wrong boat. In fact, they are in the boat, but they are doing the wrong sailing. They are sailing towards backwards and into the rough waters. They are not leading. This country is suffering, not because of police, not because of the army, not because of President Museveni, but because of members of Parliament, because they are the policy makers.
Thank you, Honorable.
Making laws for others and not for themselves. And I think there must be an independent body to decide on their allowances, on their salaries. Because now you cannot, members of Parliament decide on their, now they are going to increase their salaries from 45 million to around 70, because they have that freedom, even to 100.
And they are the ones.
Yet a head teacher and a policeman, they are still getting less than $1 million, and they are not given $1 million. They are not given a vehicle. Police has only one vehicle for the whole.
Okay, Honorable Evelyn, as we wind up this second segment of the show, as you've heard from Honorable Joshua, do you think that the head of the Parliament, that is the Speaker, Anita Among, Annette, is she responsible for the corruption and all the scandals and kickbacks present today in the Parliament? Or has she played a role in promoting this? Or what is your stand on that?
To me, my stand, corruption in Parliament is everyone's responsibility who is in Parliament, and the Speaker inclusive. Let her be exemplary. Let her come out. Let her come out and condemn corruption. Because the other time we saw her on one event, trying to cancel the citizens that when your daughter steals and brings back a home and you eat something little, trying to sugarcoat corruption,
which was really right.
It was not right and not good for the nation, and people really came out and condemned that act. So we want her to come out and see and fight corruption herself. But when we see her sugarcoating people who have eaten money, who have eaten people's money, who have eaten money which would have helped us in the hospitals, money which would have helped us in the roads and so on, in schools, I think it's very bad. So for me, what I want is the speaker to come out. When she comes out openly and he condemns corruption, and I know the members of parliament will also fear and follow her. But if they see their leader and coming out to trying to sugarcoat corruption, then they start thinking that at least I think we have some safe space in parliament. They think that the speaker will safeguard them. But if she comes out and condemns corruption, we know, and fights corruption, we know corruption will end in parliament.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Evelyn. We are going for a small commercial break, and when we come back, we shall begin with the Kyagulanyi saga. Stay.
Mukyala
waitu
Madina Education Center olirabye?
Madina Education Center isomero muno mugenya karoraho kale likusikiriza muno owenkwonki onu nohagenda kutandikira kusoma
Aja ky'omwana akyayonka
arayonka n'asoma kandi nkugenda n'okuzala y'abandi basatu nabo basomera hano Madina Education Center
abaffe Madina Education Center ng'otuuseeyo olabira ddala Madina eri eyo Middle East naye essomero liri wano Nyakibezi Masindi Road.
Madina Education Center isomero ndigondeze lyabojo n'abaisiki then boarding primary school baina nursery section hamu na daycare section direct kalaba bana barahumuraga harume byokusanisa nka toys enungi mo
ate primary section nayo ya mulembe nnyo abasomesa batendeke bulungi classes zizenyi metron wali dormitories nungi zirimu n'emifaliso emifaliso bitabo kalamu wamu ne peni byonna obisangayo ku ssomero bya bwerere balina ne school van ey'okutambula
Madina Education Center liri ha musinga gw'obusiramu bayitu tebakusorora dini n'abakristaayo bakutangirwa school fees nizisoboka okwehandikisa ku kugenda omaiso aisomero eri kusangibwa Nyakiro 3 okuruga Masindi town Masindi Kafo road bateirona special class yokukwata kuruhano mutwe kumanye bikusinga otera hasimu 0 rundi 0
We'll be back, the viewers of Elkem TV, and in this last segment we are going to talk about the riots and the strikes plus the blockages that the NUP president, that is Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, also known as Bobi Wine, is facing, and his team as they are doing their rallies from district to district. But before that, Honorable Joshua, you had some point to say?
Yeah, the head is responsible for whatever happens in the vicinity of his home. The speaker, instead of condemning corruption and the corrupt members of parliament who were arrested with evidence, she condones it. I think the speaker also should be reprimanded, or should also be, as I said, her powers must be checked, and she should also be arrested
for making such a statement.
Yes, she should answer. She should answer.
The speaker is it the third?
The third after the vice president.
Third ranking.
Yes.
In power.
Yes.
So she has her authority.
No, she does,
as a person.
Yes, but she must be careful. She must be careful with her statements. Yeah? Because if you came to arrest my children and they said, that child stole your food because he was hungry. Now, does it mean every hungry person must steal?
No.
Okay. And then we have generation issues. As I said, you President Museveni, the chairman of the party to which I subscribe, as he overlived his fortunes. He has been a very wonderful leader. But there was a wonderful leader in Europe, in France, called Napoleon. Very wonderful, dynamic, but old age deprived him of sound reasoning. And he eventually lost all the battles he had fought, and he had almost annexed all countries in Europe, including Northern Africa. But he lost the battle because of old age. So it is time that our dear President Museveni, we love him, and I think he should now begin to think
Of retiring
of handing over
peacefully.
Power to a responsible Ugandan.
By the way,
And
Uganda has never witnessed
that's why I'm
that.
saying, because some of these people who are in corruption, who are embedded in corruption, some of them are his great friends, others children of his friends that were with him in the bush. And he has that kind of sympathy. You arrest and release, somebody's son. I know his father, I know the mother. Yes. So, but if Mohoz comes in, they doesn't know you because he was not in the bush. If it means arresting you, they arrest you. Yeah. So, Mzee should be thinking in that line, and probably be thinking of handing over to General Mohoz, and we go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Joshua. Now we are crossing over to the other side of Kyagulanyi. The NUP president, Robert Kyagulanyi, is having a countrywide tour or rallies. He's moving from district to district, preaching his NUP gospel. So he's facing blockages from police, or when they accept him to talk and campaign with his people, he's being taken to a deep village where it's hard for most of the supporters to reach. So what is your stand on that? Is it a good thing? Should they leave him? Or?
No, there is a public order management which was passed, I think, during Kaihura's time. Went to Parliament and was passed. Now, Kyagulanyi moving around wouldn't be a problem. It is his constitutional right as a party head. But he should, and I know Kyagulanyi is panicking to do this because he's trying to make some accountability for the money, the 5 million he gets from each member of parliament that belongs to his party.
So that's why he's holding this.
Yeah, that is partly is doing accountability. You know, when you get money and you cannot account for it. So the only thing is, if you are a cow, you make staff party. Make a party for the staff. You make a tour which is has no meaning. We are going to see the former chairman LC5, and we must go there and buy him a cow. So when you buy a cow of 1.5, you put there 5 million. You are accounting for what you cannot account now. So
stolen money.
So that you cover up. So Kyagulanyi, of course, it is his constitutional right to move around, but he's also doing accountability. You know, they have been making a lot of noise. We pay him a lot of money. What does he take? He gets even the money from outside. So I think he's now trying to build his tent around that. Then too, he must seek police permission. As I said, there is that public order management. Seek permission from police.
But a point of information, Honorable, when he was beginning these rallies, the NUP General Secretary, that is Rubongoya Lewis, laid out that statement to the police, and it was aired out by the former police spokesperson, that is Fred Enanga, that he will be touring or rallying around the country. So he's in order and the police is aware. But why the blockages now?
Now, permission is different from implementation. Evelyn will ask permission to come out of school and go home to see the sick mother. That is what she presents there at school. The head teacher or the headmaster will say, permission granted. basing on her request. When she comes out of the school campus, she doesn't go home and there is no sick mother. She goes to the video hall. 3 days in the lodge. So permission and implementation are different. So Kyagulanyi was given permission to move because there is no way they can stop him from moving. But now, following that order, now when you move out, you are supposed to move with your team to meet the people you want to meet at their
specific site.
Yes, gazetted area. Either a playground or a school ground. But now you carry people from this end, buses. Then you continue picking people from the road as you go. If you are going to Bushenyi, you pick people from Masaka, you pick people from Nyendo, you pick people from Mbarara, you go on picking buses, ferrying. And then you have stopovers. You begin to speak to the multitudes in the streets, blocking roads,
which is not allowed,
causing traffic jam and is affecting people's business. Police cannot keep that because one of the roles of police is to keep law and order. So when there is no order and when there is no law taken heed of, then the police must come in.
Okay.
Yes, I think that is then rallies. Because at times he used the right language. When you are a leader, you have what you call choice of language. What you use is not what you are supposed. Because now you are a leader, you must use words which is generally agreed upon, not to hurt anybody. But such a kind of things are the people that is causing some kind of, because demonstrations are constitutional, but guided by police and the national purpose. And the leader, now the leaders also must be identified. Who is organizing your rally? Where? And what kind of people are you going to meet? And for how long? When is your rally starting? Now your rally, in your permission, in your request for permission, you state we are going to meet at 10 in the morning, and by midday we shall be done. Now, the actual implementation, you start at 4 p.m. and finish at 9 p.m. in the night. Confusion, chaos, bloodshed, quarrels, and and the police gets hard time to control your rally.
Okay, Honorable Evelyn.
Yes, please.
About this Kyagulanyi saga, are the NUP rallies that are ongoing around the country a threat to the NRM government? Why is the government again using the national police and the UPDF to combat and control NUP rallies? Are they scared of what may come out of these rallies? Are they scared that Kyagulanyi will tell people what is going on? Why are the blockages there?
Thank you so much. First of all, police and the army is not NRM. It's for the Republic of Uganda. It means they are supposed to serve either NUP or FDC, NRM. We are all equal when it comes to police.
But we have never seen police beat up NRM supporters. I've never seen that.
But it's like this, as you've seen, when you compare NRM meetings and NUP meetings, when it comes to NUP meetings, just right from what Joshua has said, in the permissions they are different things, and what they implement is also a different thing. Of course, when NUP rallies are on, every business stops. Vehicles can't cross such roads. All businesses stop. When those people who are on verandas, they can't spare their goods. They have to keep everything so that everything can stop, which was not included in the letter when they were asking for permission. So with the youth, and NUP is so much being supported by the youth. when we the youth see something, we always get excited and we go above the boundaries. For me, what I would ask Kyagulanyi to always brief his supporters on the right thing to do. Maybe he should always come out and bring a statement of what is embedded in the permission given out, so that people can know that if we go beyond this, we shall do what? We shall be stopped. Other than not comparing it to NRM or what, but when they start moving out like that in a disorganized way, and which was not included in the permission, automatically the police will come out to keep the order. And when we become unruly, or when they become unruly, the army will come out to support the what? The police, so that they can manage the population. Of course, the population will be so high, but it's not a matter of segregation that maybe NRM is fearing NUP or what, but it's a matter of being organized and following what they were permitted to do. Thank you.
Honorable Evelyn, give us your last words and maybe say goodbye to the viewers as we wind up this show.
Thank you so much, Mr. White. But for me, what I can say, fighting corruption is a collective responsibility. But we Banyoros, we have a say that obuliyakubi butekwa nyineka. So the head of parliament and the head of state, they should be the one to come out and spearhead this corruption fight. Of course, with the children, when we see our fathers coming out and our mothers coming out to condemn this corruption, I know Uganda will be a better country to live in. And what I know, when this corruption is fought, I know everything will be fine. When you imagine how much money is always lost, and you see the drugs which are always supplied in the hospital and not being enough vis-a-vis the population we have, it's really, you can really shed tears. But what I pray is that let us be patriotic, love our country, and we also mind about the people, the local people, the citizens who are there suffering, who are waiting for our services before we swindle that money. Because our motto is always for God and my country. But we have really turned up to this motto, to for God and my stomach. People are so selfish. They are getting a lot of salaries, they have a lot of privileges, but they can't see all this. They are so greedy. Greedy for money is too much in Uganda. So what I pray and what I cry for is corruption. Let us fight corruption. Everything will be fine and money will be enough. I know we shall even stop borrowing when we keep our money and safeguard it very well. And for Kyagulanyi, let him just be organized. We just need to be organized and let him talk to his people, to his supporters, to always follow the instructions. Otherwise, I thank Elkem Media for this platform. Thanks for always inviting us to come and discuss ideas and talk with our people and get feedback from them. And I really thank for all those who have always put in their data to watch Elkem Media. And thanks for loving us and supporting us. I know we can't be without you people who are always viewing us on this TV. Otherwise, thank you. I remain Ayebale Evelyn, the District Female Youth Councillor Masindi. I love you all.
Thank you, Honorable Evelyn. Honorable Amanyire Joshua.
Yes.
As we wind up this show, can we have your last points and
Let me
probably
begin
say
with
goodbye?
Let me begin with Bobby Wine. Kyagulanyi. Number one, you know, there are things the opposition want to do. They know the right things to do. For instance, when they write they are seeking for permission, they put there the right things. But because they are in opposition, they will make sure that they will show they are in opposition.
In terms of action.
Kabisa. They will show that they are in opposition. So whatever they are doing is to prove that they are in opposition. So to Kyagulanyi and his people, they are not wrong. It is to us, the other side, that prove them wrong. But to them, they are doing their role. They are in opposition.
They have
so
to oppose.
they are opposing anything that comes their way. So, but I would want for mature politics, I think I would pray that Kyagulanyi also must play his cards very well, knowing that every system has got its controller, and then let him know that he needs government and government needs him, because police is important for him, and also police need him. You never know. One day, maybe after 50 years, he will be a president. And some of us who are still alive, and we spoke about of him, then we shall
find somewhere else to
yes. So opposition should know that they must abide by the law. And also, there are times when some even policemen want to call the storm in the teacup. They want to call the storm in the teacup. Even a small thing, they want to make it. There are some small mistakes. In the management, there is what you call bending the law and breaking the law. There is why somebody may not break the law, but bend the law because it will go back. There are times when you need to advise. Say, Mr. Kyagulanyi, here I think you need to do this. I've seen some DPCs calling him to their offices and say, please, Mr. Kyagulanyi, we are not stopping you, but we advise you to do this so that you go ahead with your part. Meaning with your rally. You advise him. But then when you refuse, then watashambulia we kiboko. Yes. Now, to corruption. I think, as I said, there are generational issues. Yeah, even when you are good and when you grow old. Let me give you an example. We used to have our old parents, and they would serve them rice, and because he's aged and the eyes are so dim, he eats with chicken. As you pick rice, the chicken are also picking. You eat and the chicken are also picking. So you are eating with them because you cannot see them. For you put your hand in the mouth and the chicken are also eating because you cannot see. That is old age. When you grow age, when you go beyond, there are generational issues you don't see. So that's why now some of these younger ones, they are trying to eat the rice from the big man's plate and he cannot see them. So it needs somebody with bright eyes, so that now who can be able to see that these chicken are coming to eat the rice. But now chicken are eating the rice from parliament, from Minister of Finance, from everywhere, and you cannot see them because of that old age. Old age deprives people of sound reasoning. That's why even in medical, when you grow up to a certain age, they stop you from surgical operation and the others. Yeah, even judges retire. Wiser they are, at a certain age, they say you cannot preside over a case. Go home and rest. So we need to strike. That's why the people are talking about age limit. We can say maybe every president must stop at 75. So that after that, we get some new brand. That's why you can see now Biden. He doesn't even know. He's calling his vice the vice of Trump. He's calling, he's messing because old age. Respecting your old age means also you respect your service. So I think President Museveni, he should be thinking around that clock. He's still good, but with time to come, let him allow General Muhoozi to take over. Then this corruption should not be left to Parliament, should come down here. Whenever there is a budget made, at the end of that financial year, there must be an audit to regarding what you call budget performance.
Honorable Joshua,
let me ask
final words.
Yes, in the district, let me ask Evelyn. When the end financial year is ending, do you make a budget performance report that what the money we budgeted the other financial year in the engineering sector, works and engineering, this is what will happen, we plan for this, we usually this. They don't. They just go into the new year. Yeah, but yes, but they don't report to council. They should be to council because you give it to cow, and the cow, they want to read to the executive.
Honorable Joshua, say bye-bye to the
so
viewers.
I want to argue the Ugandans. Number one, corruption is not for President Museveni to fight. It is the work of each one of us. 2, political leadership. Every Ugandan has a right to have a rally, but following the law, because we have public order management. Let us respect others, respect ourselves, and respect our nation. God bless you.
Thank you so much, the viewers of Elkem TV. This has been the Platform Show. May God bless you all.